In this video demonstration, I'm going to show you how to use a combination of JND462 Deer Scene tag die set along with the JND463, which is the tag Favour box die set. You may notice sometimes the codes and then extra writing that I have on my boards are actually from when I very first received the dies. So sometimes when I do the packaging, I actually change the name or have a rethink. But using these two in combination can give us endless possibilities for things like tag boxes, for sort of diorama sign cards, giving us that. But it can also make a beautiful trifold card, which I've got here, which is just a lovely simple little tag that would look beautiful on a present, but just opens out absolutely gorgeously like that. So this is what we're going to make. So we're going to start with a piece of card, and I've got a piece of card cut here to A5. So it's approximately a piece of A4 card that I cut down to 5 3/4 inches. So I'm just going onto my board. So I'm flipping my board over, putting my card up against that at the 40 mark, and then taking the score tool, I'm going to score at 30, I'm going to score at 20, and I'm going to score at 10. So these are all measurements on this score board. They're not necessarily measurements that will work for everything else. If I actually show you, it's actually scoring approximately 5 centimetres. So you're scoring every 5 centimetres, and then you want to cut one end piece off. So you've got 3 pieces like that. So I'm just going to flip my board around. It's easier to fold off the self-healing cutting side. So I'm going to fold one side over and the other side back to create a sort of triptych or a triple panel. Then, using the largest tag die from the tag Favour box die set, I'm going to place this either side. If you notice here, you get a little bit of leeway with that measurement either side so that it won't cut any of those hinges off. And we're simply going to put that, take that down well, and I am going to show this running through the machine, as what you want to do is to run this through the machine on the side. Even with an A5 machine like the Kaleido, we are cutting through 3 layers of card, although I am actually using a 220 GSM card, so I'm using the sort of lightest weight that I would use for die cutting. So running that forward and back, and just like that, you can see there, because we've used the side and a lighter weight of card, we've got all the pieces of scrap off, and we have then our little trifold. So now I want to start to decorate it. So I'm going to use the Deer Scene tag die set, and I'm going to use, on the first panel, I'm going to use the little deer. So again, a little bit of low tack tape. Always tape your dies down, certainly when you're using something like this. Don't trust one of the silly magnetic sheets. Now this panel here will obviously be on this side on the front. So we skip that middle panel. And I'm going to put on the outer panel one of the other decorative panels. This is one of the ones with the trees on that. I love birch trees. If I could do every card with the dies of birch trees on, I think I would. Simply run that through your die cutting machine as normal, and you'll get this. So as you can see, there's our back panel, fold over, front panel. But obviously this section is the front. So I'm going to turn that back onto its back now, take the alternate panel that I haven't used and cut that into the back. And I am going to run this through and cut it again, just so that you can see. So I'm placing that down, and we simply run that through our die cutting machine. I'm just using here my Kaleido. I'm giving it forward and back a couple of times because I'm going crossways. And here we go. I'm just going to pop that out, and we'll just pop all of the sections out. So nice and easy to get all of these little bits out. Taking a little bit of time just to make sure you've popped all of the little die cuts out, because it's relatively delicate, so it's not something you want to be banging a lot on and things. So as you can see now, we've got then, that's our front, to our back, to our middle. So I'm just going to reconfirm those folds. But you see now, we've almost got straight away our triplet scene. But I want to add a little bit more colour and shine onto that. So I'm going to take a piece of mirror card, and this is in vintage gold. And I want to use the same two panels, the same two tree panels that I used in the triptych. And I want to use this outer flat panel from the Favour box set. So we're just going to take a long piece of tape, pick up our central panel, nice and evenly place that, tape that down, and we'll run it through. When we do that, we'll then get these two gold panel versions of the trees. So I simply want to adhere those onto here. So I would add a little bit of spray glue. I use Craft Mount or Display Mount by 3M. You can choose your own spray glue. That's the one that only one that I found for me that works. And so going first of all onto the front here, I'm going to line that up so that it covers the brown die cut. So you can see there, I've got gold trees on the brown. I'm going to open the second side, and again, I'm going to line that up exactly. You can offset it if you want to, but if I'm lining it up exactly, it gives me just that little bit of white shadowing on the back. So there, quite simply, I've got the beautiful brown showing with the gold of the trees. And I'm just going to take my crocodile. You can use sort of any hole punch that you want to, and just punch a hole in the top. And you can punch it together like that, so it's sort of almost like a 3D scene. I tend to do is to punch it and actually just hook onto the first bit. So simply take a little bit of ribbon. This is a 5mm satin ribbon, so I can go through all three like that and hold it like that. Or my preferred way is to fold it in half and go through just the first hole, pull those through, and I find if I just pull one of those, it ties it off nicely without putting too much pressure on. So we'll just trim down to a little fishtail, our little tops, and there we have our beautiful little triptych card or triptych tag in brown and gold. And as they get handled, they'll flatten a little bit more, but you can just carefully use your bone folder to fold it in. But there are two examples made using a combination of the Deer Scene tags and the Favour tag box. For more ideas, hints, tips and inspiration, why not visit the Crafting with John next door on Crafts2 group on Facebook. Enjoy.